In the headlines, troops rescue 9 abducted victims in Zamfara State. Police arrest counterfeit currency fraudsters, fake bank alert suspects in Katsina and Jigawa states. Bauchi community threatened by flood asks government to address deplorable conditions of a bridge linking them with outside world. And on the foreign scene, Senegal opposition leader Ousmane Sonko calls for protest after nomination rally banned. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you for joining us. Now, troops of Operation Hatarindaji on Friday rescued 9 kidnapped victims in the Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. The troops, while carrying out routine patrol and providing protection for farmers, acted on a distress call against armed bandits at Melere village under Gwashi district in the Bukuyum area. The troops mobilized swiftly to the scene of the incident and contact was made with the armed bandits at the entrance of the community. However, the troops engaged the armed bandits with superior firepower, forcing them to flee and abandoned the 9 abductees. The victims were said to have been successfully reunited with their families. Meanwhile, the operatives of the Nigerian police force in Nasarawa State have arrested 30 suspected criminals for allegedly committing various crimes, ranging from kidnapping and possession of dangerous weapons and ammunition in the state. The state police public relations officer, DSP Ramhan Nansel, parades the suspects in Lafia, the state capital, on Friday before journalists. Umar Mohammed sent in the details.
Parading the suspects, DSP Nansel announced the arrest of a suspected kidnapper, Zakari Umar, who has been on the watch list of the police command. He was arrested after painstaking efforts, according to the police spokesperson.
Also known as Denwudin, a male 28 years old of Mahanga village away, was arrested in connection to the offense. Investigation revealed that the suspect called his victim on phone, threatening him.
The kidnapped victim says the suspect called him on phone and threatened him. Due to the fear of being kidnapped, the victim was coerced into paying the sum of 1,150,000 naira to the suspect as ransom.
I saw about 15 people sleeping in one room. That is in the room and parlor. Where they were not feeding us. We were kept here for almost 2 weeks without food. Not even water to drink.
Upon his arrest, the suspect led police operatives to a farmland where the sum of 750,000 naira was recovered. Other suspects arrested for committing various crimes from kidnapping and armed robbery have confessed to their crimes. The police say all suspects will be charged after completion of ongoing investigations.
Likewise, police in Lagos State on Friday paraded 26 suspected criminals for various offences like cultism, murder and pipeline vandalism in the state. Victoria Tokolo reports that among the 27 suspects, 1 is a female. Her report as presented from our studio.
Lagos State Police Commissioner has said under his watch, no kind of criminality will be allowed in this state. Parading the 27 suspected criminals who are into cultism and pipeline vandalism, the commissioner said his men recovered 2 motorcycles, 1 unregistered Toyota Corolla, 7 locally made pistols, 1 blue Barrett with cultism logo, 1 knife, 1 axe, and multiple of charms from the suspects. The police public relations officer of the command, Benjamin Hudain, who represented the state commissioner, speaks on what the command is doing to guard against activities of criminals in Lagos.
Concerning the pipeline vandalism, police complicity, I'll leave that at what it is for now, accusation. When any one of them is arrested, then we can confirm that yes, there's complicity on the part of police. But true, that's a concern many people have raised. Police complicity, not just police, let's say security agencies, their complicity. And this is an ongoing investigation about the one in Idimo. We have one suspect. We also have other suspects we have not arrested. We have their identity, we have their location, and in
The suspects are from different areas of the state, from Mushi, Okomaiko, Iba, Agege, and Idimo area of Lagos State. The police image maker urged parents to take responsibility of their children, as most of them join cult groups through peer pressure.
they mix with the wrong crowd and they succumb to peer pressure. So it is something that should be a collective responsibility. For us, we are doing our part to enforce the law, to arrest perpetrators and get them prosecuted. But societal leaders too, parents, guardians too, need to keep tabs on their children. So it's not enough that your children go to school and come back. You should go the extra mile to ask what happened in school today. It's not enough for your teenage child to say, I'm going for a birthday party. You should go the extra mile to ask questions about the party. And when they come back from the party, what's really transpired at the party. Because most of the people that get initiated do get initiation at parties, sometimes even behind their school. Is that crazy? Sometimes after or during break or after school, behind the school premises. So I'm saying that while we play our part, we also encourage everybody out there to also join hands to monitor the vulnerable demographic, the youth. We need to monitor them and see what they do.
The Commissioner of Police, Idowu Ohunwa, through the Public Relations Officer, said that fight against crimes in the society requires collective responsibility. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Jigawa State Command, has arrested 2 suspects over possession of counterfeit United States dollars worth $30,900, that's the US dollars. Spokesman of the command, CSC Adamu, stated this while parading the suspects on Friday at the command's headquarters, Dutse, the state capital. The suspects are 25 years Ladi Umar of Tashar Musawa, Zaria local government area of Kaduna State, and 35 years Abdul Rahman Khalid. He said the latter owned up to the allegations but claimed that the laddie met him with fake foreign currency and asked him how to spend it without any hitch, which he told him that he knew one Malam Haruna who lives in Unguru, Yobe State, that will help him turn the fake foreign currency into genuine cash. However, the alleged Malam could not be reached for days via his phone. The laddie suspected foul play and reported the case to the NSCDC Divisional Office in Sule, Tankarkar rather. The laddie later confessed that he bought the fake currency from one Zakari, now at large in Marabarjas, Kaduna State, and purchased the 3 fake bundles of $10,000 at the rate of 75,000 naira. That's about 25,000 naira per bundle. He said that the case of counterfeiting and criminal conspiracy is contrary to Section 369 and 96 of the Constitution and punishable under Section 329 and 97 of the Penal Code Law of Jigawa State. Also, police in Katsina State have arrested a suspected fraudster who specializes in defrauding unsuspecting members of the public using counterfeit currency. Spokesman of the command, ASP Abubakar Sadiq, said Nemesis caught up with the suspect, Bashir Omar, 28, alias Dan Zamfara of Magamari Jibia local government area, when the command received intelligence on his illegal activities and location. The Katsina police spokesman said the suspect, in the course of the investigation, confessed to the commission of the offense. In a related development, ASP Sadiq said on 6 July, the command arrested one Al-Qasim Muhammad, 43, of Sharada Phase 3, Kano State, also a suspected notorious fraudster who specializes in defrauding unsuspecting members of the public by way of fake bank transfer.
The people of Gualangan, Mayagi in Bauchi State have asked the state government to redouble efforts in arresting the deplorable condition of the bridge linking them with the outside world for economic prosperity. They made the appeal on the need to mitigate the incessant collapse of the bridge on account of flood annually. Adamu Imam completes the story.
The Gualangan Mayagi community said the issue of reconstruction of the bridge has been pending because of unfulfilled promises from previous governments, hoping that the current government will act fast.
That we are seeing, the water is flooded all. Here that we are staying, you cannot stay here because the water is, there is not people in that house because of that flooding. All that place that we are seeing, it is rain. When the water comes, it's flood there. They cannot access, we cannot make anything.
Abdul Hakim Abdul Rafiu, another resident, said that many residents are sleeping with one eye open, especially during rainy season.
Farmers that are doing their work here, the rain season will take it away. There is no anything they will get in their farm. We are facing a lot of challenges.
Even if we try to mitigate the impact of flood here, we cannot, because we are alone. Until government supports us, we usually contribute money from the members of this community. We were still hoping this present administration will arrest the deplorable condition of this road and the bridge as well. We have assurance, but we are still waiting for them to make lasting solution to this problem. Flooding here submerged all this area. People cannot get access to other side until after 1 to 3 hours waiting. When the water flow subsides, we cannot see anything. It is only the water that covers everywhere. It creates problem. We are saying government should rise up. It becomes worrisome to us. The bridge is collapsing every year. Although some effort have been made to mitigate the devastating effect of flood, there are still fears of unknown. Adamu Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up, we'll take a look at manhole theft in Abuja. This and more after the break. Stay with us.
How do they come to Nigeria? They have to come through Niger Republic.
Welcome to News Hour on Trust TV.
The Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG,
Petition followed consultations and meetings.
Hello and welcome to the News Hour on Trust TV. I am
Where do they get what? How do they survive?
Kidnapping is just an extension of catch rustling.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Update on Trust TV. And here is a recap of our top stories. Robotics troops rescue 9 kidnapped victims in Zamfara State. And police arrest counterfeit currency fraudsters, fake bank alert suspects in Katsina and Jigawa State. Now moving on to other stories, Adamawa State Governorship Election Tribunal has fixed July 21st for final judgment in a petition filed by the SDP governorship candidate Omar Ardo seeking for cancellation of the election. At a resumed hearing in Yola on Friday, the tribunal listened to arguments of legal counsel to parties in the matter. Salis Lawan has the report.
Ardo approached the tribunal seeking for the cancellation of the 2023 gubernatorial polls based on a number of issues, including alleged violation and substantial non-compliance with the Electoral Act during governorship election in the state. The SDP candidate asked the tribunal to order INEC to conduct fresh polls in Adamawa due to alleged violation of its electoral guidelines and principles laid down in the Electoral Act 2022. Counsel to the INEC, Abdullahi Ibrahim, son, urges the court to discountenance the positions of the petitioners on the grounds that the electoral body has conducted a credible polls.
INEC on its own part, the chairman directed should be here, and he sent somebody. And they said in the absence of their witness, they want to close their case. So be it, and we don't have any objection to whatever they want to do. So that is what has happened. They have closed their case. And on our own part, because they didn't call that, we don't feel there's any need for us to call any evidence. So we have also closed our case for us to address the court on points of law, simple.
But the lead counsel to Dr. Umar Ardo, Sylvester Ihunobe, son, argued that incontrovertible and documented evidences showed that INEC failed to carry out credible election, including suspending the 18th March polls and the legal actions it took against the suspended commissioner.
A subpoena is a court order, where we leave that to the courts. But importantly, the case of the petitioners is actually proved from the document of INEC itself. And you can see that the court admitted that document is uncontroverted. So we closed our case on that ground, and they asked them to respond. As it is, they said they are not objecting, and they have no witness or document to tender. So they led no evidence. That's why the court now adjourned.
The tribunal judge, Justice Theodora Obi Oluru, adjourned the case to July 21st for final judgment in the case. Silas Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, theft and removal of manhole meant to cover public utilities in Abuja is posing risks and safety concerns to human lives and properties among residents. However, Police Commissioner in the capital city, Haruna Garba, said some arrests of the perpetrators have been made and some of the stolen manholes are recovered. The report.
Manhole gives access to public utility for maintenance purpose, but manhole cover in Abuja are stolen and sold. Many residents said the trend, if left unchecked, can lead to unpleasant consequences. Police Commissioner Haruna Garba urged residents to contribute their quota in arresting the situation to bring an end to this vandalization.
What they should do as a patriotic Nigerians is to alert police and other sister security agencies to apprehend them. But where you see them and you turn your ways to the other side, you are not patriotic enough. And in any case, as a private citizen, you can make an arrest and then hand over to law enforcement agencies immediately after that arrest. When you see a scavenger removing manhole and you are two or three of you can apprehend one person and stop that act from taking place, and then you report promptly.
Some Abuja residents said that the scavengers, also known as Babambola, are to be blamed for this theft.
All these Babambolas, all these scavengers, they are the people responsible for removing all these things. And the danger of this is, if it is the night, when there is no light, when vehicles enters, it can tumble or it can burst your tire, and that will lead to an accident.
Months back, I came back from Mugs. Although it's my fault, I concentrate on my phone. So I mistakenly fall inside the manhole, and I was injured in my leg.
Those Agboro, those Babambora, that is my understanding. Because there's no one can come and remove those covers.
Lack of maintenance and continuity. I believe these things were provided by somebody. And maybe the next person that took over felt unconcerned The only thing I know government can do is to provide security for all these things. You can see it is a hole. Maybe it's deep enough that someone can hide inside.
Those that are removing it, they should be able to be arrested, because by doing that, if they leave it like that, everything will get damage in the country.
There should be a special maybe task force that will be patrolling the road, I think, every day. That is what government should do. And if there are ways they can do that, they cannot be removed. That is left for the government to do that.
They called on government to ensure measures are put in place to bring an end to this incessant theft of the manhole covers across the city. Dokazala, Trust TV News, Abuja.
As President Tinubu requests legislative approval to distribute palliative to Nigerians, some residents of Makurdi said improving power supply alone will encourage entrepreneurship. The residents are worried that poor public supply of electricity has worsened the economic situation in the state. Jimmy Adzande reports.
Small-scale business owners in Makurdi say unstable power supply is an impediment to their businesses through bogus billing and epileptic supply.
In terms of palliatives, the way I've seen it, I believe that as a businessman, the federal government should be able to put the money meant for palliatives in trying to strengthen the way that light will be supplied in Nigeria. Because if the power companies are generating power in such a way that small business can be able to work on their own and be able to carry out their businesses efficiently, I believe that will boost small, medium scale enterprises.
Because of the hike in diesel and the hike in fuel, it can really cause a lot of harm to our business. We want to make a lot of profit where we do. You can use maybe a day we spend up to 10,000 for diesel. Like that costs about a job that costs about 3,000. I was spending more than 10,000 on diesel. That really causes a lot of harm to our business. We can't afford to run business with diesel. It doesn't pay at all.
The residents urged President Tinubu to direct his palliative to infrastructure like power supply, as they said this will serve better than sharing stipends to the public.
In a country where electricity has been epileptic for so many years, and with billions of naira spent, I remember the Obasanjo government spent a lot of billions of naira on electricity, but today it's still epileptic. So it's a good thing for the president to pick it as one of the issues he wants to tackle. And it's also a good thing that the purported the news that they were going to increase the tariff 1st July was shelved aside, so that the burden on the average people would reduce.
Know that power is one of the major requirement for survival of businesses. And if power alone is taken care of in this country, you see a lot of small and medium-scale enterprises springing up and sustaining themselves.
While a positive response is awaited from the electricity bill that was signed into law recently, allowing states to generate and distribute power, businesses are falling up due to inability to cope with the lack or high charges of electricity supply in the state. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Away from Nigeria, Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko called for a peaceful protest on Saturday after authorities blocked a planned rally to publicly confirm his nomination as a candidate in the upcoming presidential election. Sonko on Thursday was unanimously voted as the Pastef Patriot candidate for the February 25, 2024 presidential elections, the party said in a statement given to AFP. Sonko's nomination comes despite lingering questions over his eligibility due to criminal convictions and prison sentences. On Thursday, the governor of Dakar announced that the opposition party's nomination rally, initially scheduled for Saturday afternoon in a stadium on the outskirts of the capital, had been banned due to the risks of disturbing public order. Sonko told his supporters another date would be chosen and called for a concert of saucepans, horns and firecrackers on Saturday evening to peacefully express disapproval and call for President Macky Sall to leave office in peace. And finally, in sports, Nigeria has lost the women's 4x100 meters relay gold of 2022 Commonwealth Games to England following indictment of the country's anchor in the race, Grace Nwokocha, for doping. The Commonwealth Games Federation, CGF, announced this on Friday. England finished second in the race at the Games in Birmingham in August. However, the Athletics Integrity Unit, AIU, later provisionally suspended Nigerian's anchor Grace Nwokocha for the use of banned substance. As a result, her individual and team results at Birmingham 2022 have been annulled by the CGF. Jamaica were promoted to silver, while Australia took bronze. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube Live for more news, programs, and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.